Hello students, welcome to Pharma Syndrome YouTube channel. Today our discussion is regarding receptors. I hope you know, so receptors are very important regarding pharmacology. Like the formulas are very important to understand the mathematics. Like here also, the understanding the concepts of receptor, nothing but receptor pharmacology is very essential to get into easily through the all topics of the pharmacology. For example, you have to understand the receptor pharmacology. So for that, how you can able to get a grip on the remaining pharmacology concepts or topics means. For example, what is a receptor and what are its general property, and apart from that, what is alpha receptor, what is its location, what is its function. So if you having the grip on like that receptors, so you can easily understand when alpha 1 receptors can be agonized and which condition alpha 1 receptors can be antagonized. So like that, in body number of receptors are there. So for understanding that receptor and receptor pharmacology, so this is very important for your theory purpose as well as your competitive orientation also. So as my knowledge and experience, I feel that receptors are like a formulas, a key for the understanding of different topics in the pharmacology. So anyway, let it we enter into the topic, that is receptors. So generally, receptors are nothing but a binding substances. For example, if adrenaline is there, adrenaline is generally a neurotransmitter in the sympathetic nervous system. It is a neurotransmitter in the sympathetic nervous system. So generally the role of adrenaline is on the heart is contraction of the cardiac muscle, that is contraction of the myocardium. So for that purpose, it have to bind to some substance on the heart. The substance is nothing but receptor. So here adrenaline is binding to the beta 1 receptors. So like that, if beta 1 receptors activity is more, it leads to hypertension. Then we have to block the beta receptors. If beta 1 receptor activity is less, it leads to hypotension, may leads to the less cardiac activity. In that condition, you have to increase the cardiac activity. So for that, again I'm repeating, so you have to gain knowledge on the receptor, its function, its location, and when agonist are used in this receptor, when antagonist is used on particular receptors. For that purpose, first you have to understand the receptor pharmacology. Okay. So here, as we know, there are four different types of receptors are there. So there are four types of receptors are there. So generally, the four types of receptors are first starts with the ion channels or ionotropic receptors. Ion channels are ionotropic receptors. So here this is ion channel or ionotropic receptors. And next one is G protein coupled receptors. And next one is enzyme linked receptors. And next one is nuclear receptors. So here there is a different, especially in body, there are different subtypes of receptors are there. All are classified under these four types of receptors. And here, before going to that all classes of receptors, first we have to understand what is receptor. So receptor is a large molecule. It is a protein in nature. Receptor is a large molecule. It is protein in nature. Provides a binding site for ligand molecules and produces physiological or pharmacological or biological action. So receptors are large molecules. So simply here, receptors are large molecules. They are protein in nature. Generally, receptors are protein in nature, and they provide binding site for the ligand molecule. The ligand molecule present inside the body. It may be neurotransmitter, it may be vitamin, whatever it may be. The ligand molecule may be from the outside of the body, like drugs. So the ligand may be endogenous within the body, exogenous outside of the body. They have to bind to the receptor because receptor provides the binding site. So simply, when you have to write down the definition simply, so no need of by heart anything. Receptor is a large molecule. It is a protein in nature. It provides a binding site for the ligand molecule to generate a pharmacological or biological or physiological action. So before that, the classification of receptors is based on, so how these four types of receptors are classified? Simply, nature of binding substance. For example, ion channels means a receptor interacting with the ion channels like sodium, calcium, potassium, like that ion channels. Here G protein coupled receptor. G protein coupled receptors means the here receptor is interacting with the G protein. enzyme linked receptors. Here receptors are mainly interact with enzymes for their action. Next, nuclear receptors. Here the receptors are involving with the nucleus for the pharmacological generation. Nothing but pharmacological action generation. So based on the coupling substance to the receptors are classified. So we know 4 types of receptors. And here the concept of receptor was introduced by Gadam Clark as well as Paul Ehrlich. I hope you know Paul Ehrlich, known as father of chemotherapy. He done tremendous work in the chemotherapy in the initial stage of chemotherapy. So because of his tremendous work only, today we are seeing number of excellent drugs in the chemotherapy, because first he started screening of chemotherapeutic compounds in the animals for against the bacterial infections. Next, so here a simple and important point is the drug receptor occupation theory follows law of mass action. So here, this is the receptor, this is the ligand molecule. The ligand molecule is occupying the receptors. I hope maybe in the chemistry you studied the law of mass action. The rate of reaction is directly proportional to the number of reactants or number of chemical reagents. So here, like that only, the receptor occupation theory. So occupation of ligand molecule on the receptor is depend on the number of availability of drug molecules. So how many number of drug or ligand molecule is binding to the receptor is also directly proportional to the pharmacological action. So that's why if number of ligands are more, number of receptor sites are will occupied. That is directly proportional to the pharmacological action. If 100% of ligand molecule binds to 100% of receptor site, the pharmacological action is different. If 50% only occupied, that is 50% receptor sites are occupied by 50% ligand molecule only, then there is a difference in the pharmacological action. So that is the pharmacological action is directly proportional to number of receptors occupied. That's why the receptor occupation theory. So binding of a receptor, sorry, binding of a ligand molecule to the receptor follows the law of mass action. Okay. Just a minute. Next. So after a simple introduction regarding the receptors, so next, first we will talk regarding ion channel receptors. I hope you know ion channel receptors are also called as ionotropic receptors. So already I mentioned here, these receptors are also known as ionotropic receptors. Especially these receptors, so ion channels means throughout the body they are present. They present in the each cell of the body. So especially, so they may involve in the number of actions, but here some of the actions like these ion channels or ionotropic receptors are responsible for generation of an action potential. For example, entry of sodium into the cell, depolarization, influx of potassium into the cell, repolarization, efflux of potassium out of the cell, hyperpolarization, influx of chloride into the cell, again hyperpolarization. So generation of action potential. So action potential is a sequence of depolarization, repolarization, hyperpolarization. And second one is muscle contraction, especially skeletal muscle. So not only skeletal muscle, other muscles also. As an example, I am telling here. So responsible for action potential generation, also muscle contraction. And especially these receptors are called as fast acting receptors. Why these are called as fast acting receptors means these are having interaction with ion channels. The ion channels are shows action within the milliseconds. For example, entry of sodium into the cell, depolarization, it will occurs within fraction of seconds. Action potential generation occurs within fraction of second. Skeletal muscle contraction, simply we are rising, holding the hand up down or upwards or downwards, it is happening within the fraction of time. So because of this action, especially these receptors are called as fast acting receptors. These shows action within the milliseconds. That's why these receptors are called as fast acting receptors. So based on these things only, maybe in your PCA syllabus MCQs or NTA GPAT, they will ask questions. So ionotropic receptors are also called as. So why these are called as fast acting receptors? What is the time scale of ion channel receptors? Like that only they will ask the questions. Next. So as we know, ion channel receptors nothing but these conducts ions like sodium, calcium, potassium, chloride. So these conducts ion like this. That's why these are called as ion channel or ionotropic receptors. And here, especially, there are two types of ion channels or ionotropic receptors. What are they? Voltage gated and ligand gated. So there are two types of ion channel or ionotropic receptor, that is voltage gated as well as ligand gated. So what is simply voltage gated? Voltage difference is a stimuli. For example, resting membrane potential RMP. At resting membrane potential, the potential within the cell is minus 90 millivolt. Minus 90 millivolt. So when it have to come to depolarization, the negative voltage should come to the positive voltage. So when this difference between voltage, like positive negative voltage, then there is a stimulation of voltage gated ion channels. So definitely this require stimulation in the potential. It may be negative, it may be positive. That's why these are called as voltage gated ion channels. These ion channels are respond to the potential difference in the cell. Ligand gated. So what is the ligand gated ion channels? Ligand binding is the stimuli. When just sodium is binding to sodium ion channels, the ion channels will be stimulated. That may be potassium, calcium. Based on the type of the ion channel, the ligand will bind. So when ligand binds, automatically the channels will be stimulated. So based on this, there are two types of ion channel receptors or ionotropic receptors, that are voltage gated, nothing but, and the second one is ligand gated ion channel or ionotropic receptors. Just a second. Okay, so here after a description of ion channel receptors, next one is our discussion on the examples. So in the competitive orientation as well as your PCA MCQs, definitely PCA nothing but your syllabus, Pharmacy Council of India syllabus. So here the examples are very, very important. Definitely there is a question from the, what are the examples of ion channel receptors like that. So here the examples like a number of examples comes under the ion channel receptors. You have to remember these examples. First one is nicotinic receptors. So there are two types of nicotinic receptors, NM as well as NN. NM means nicotinic muscle type. NN means nicotinic neuronal or ganglion type. As we know, nicotinic receptors are comes under the parasympathetic nervous system. The ligand molecule for nicotinic receptors is acetylcholine. Next, GABA receptors. So I hope you know gamma aminobutyric acid, GABA. It is a one of the major inhibitory neurotransmission in the central nervous system. So there are three types of GABA: A, B, C. Three types of receptors, but A, C are comes under ion channel or ionotropic. B is comes under G protein coupled. Next, glycine receptors. So glycine is also one of the inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system along with GABA. So glycine binds to receptors called as glycine receptors. So glycine also comes under ion channel or ionotropic receptors. Next is serotonin receptors. So there are 7 types, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 types of serotonin receptors are there, but only type 3 serotonin is comes under the type 3 serotonin is comes under the ion channel receptors 5-HT3. Especially stimulation of this 5-HT3 receptor in the CNS leads to vomiting. That's why 5-HT3 receptor blockers are used as a anti-emetic agent. Next, glutamate ionotropic receptors. I hope you know glutamate like and aspartate. So both glutamate aspartate, but here glutamate ionotropic receptors. Glutamate is one of the excitatory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. The examples of glutamate ionotropic receptors like NMDA, AMPA, as well as kynic acid. So these three subtypes are comes under the glutamate ionotropic receptors example. And these are the examples like comes under the ion channel or ionotropic receptors. So this is regarding a total description of the ion channel receptors, and this is the part 1 of the receptor pharmacology, and go for the part 2 receptor pharmacology in our channel. Thank you.